Hello students, again welcome back at Eduwings Global platform. So we are happy to have Mr. Alex. He is from St. Lawrence College, Kingston, and he is a regional manager over there. And his visit to India, first of all, Mr. Alex, we welcome you here with your international team, Mr. Sean, and with Sano and Aman. So we are very happy to have you here today. So nowadays, what's happening is students are really confused about Canada as study destination. Might be because of some false news also from the students and who are there on shore. And we really want to have your opinion because you are here right from Canada, landing here, and we really want to know whether it is a true fact that Canada now no more have jobs, and whether St. Lawrence College, Kingston, is going to help the students with the good programs. So first of all, we discuss on where St. Lawrence College is. Is it public funded or is private? And which kind of a program St. Lawrence College is running?
Sure, thanks. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me and having the team. So we're based actually in 3 cities. We have campuses in Kingston, Cornwall, and Brockville, which is situated in Eastern Ontario. Ontario is one of the provinces of Canada, of course. We're located alongside the St. Lawrence River, which is where we get the name St. Lawrence College from. We have a variety of programs that are eligible for students upon graduation to apply for what's known as the post-graduation work permit. Of course, all of that is through the IRCC, and that is all dependent on the profile and the application. It's never guaranteed, but the reality is that the programs we offer that are PGWP eligible, those are there because they are linked to industries that are currently in need of workers in Canada.
Right. Thank you so much for putting your opinion further. But one thing I just really want to know that as Lawrence College is having all skill trade programs as well, so how much the academic percentage minimum and the language proficiency is required for the students to get admission into it?
Well, it does depend on the program itself with respect to the percentage for entry.
Right.
I would certainly recommend that if anyone's interested that they come and consult with you and with our team member, our recruitment coordinator here, Amandeep.
Yes.
He'll be able to fill you in thoroughly on what is actually required in terms of the courses, but generally speaking, you would need a math class and an English, or in this case, an IELTS test.
Right.
Generally, for the undergraduate level programs, you're looking at an overall band of 6 with no band below 5.5. However, we do encourage applicants to have higher bands than
6
that.
in each.
6 in each, because what we're
Yes.
hearing lately is that that is more likely to help with the visa application, not necessarily from an admissions perspective. For a postgraduate level program, you're looking at an even increased IELTS score of 6.5 with no band below 6.0. Again, the academics will depend because some programs are highly competitive, others are not, and that will affect what is required from a percentage standpoint, and also which courses specifically you would need. For example, health sciences courses would require also biology and chemistry.
Yes. So, which kind of a programs are lending them to good jobs in Canada? At least they can make their career after the completion of their 2-year programs or advanced diploma with a 3 years or 4 years degree. So, do you think which kind of a program St. Lawrence can help them up that they should opt for these kind of a programs so that they should get more the jobs more easily after the studies?
Well, I would say that it's important to note that no matter where you go, no matter what country and what program you're graduating from, it's never going to be easy to get a job.
Yes.
The jobs are there, certainly, and as I referenced earlier, the post-graduation work permit eligible programs, that's been identified as programs that are in need in terms of career prospects in the country. So you can rest assured that if you study in those programs and do well academically, and you follow that up with finding part-time work if that's what you want to bolster your skills and gain experience in the community that you're studying in, so that when the time comes to apply for a position afterwards, you have that little bit of an edge to add to your story. Because nobody should be expecting to graduate and come into a high-level managerial position. In fact, you need to work your way up.
Yes.
Everybody does, regardless of where you're from, internationally or a Canadian.
You have to build up resume day by day.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you. And so the next query generally we attend in the office, like for Canada, a Canadian Institute says like the kind of healthcare specifically, Lawrence is offering nursing program, right? So it is highly competitive. And September 2025 still open with the nursing programs?
I would say that nursing is going to be a little trickier because it is a highly competitive program. So if that's a program of interest to you, you should be looking further in advance. However, there is an opportunity on some campuses to still have spots available.
Okay.
That will come and go based on the application funnel. You can also apply and potentially be waitlisted and then maybe get a slot in one of those programs.
Okay. So, how many campuses St. Lawrence is having?
So we have 3 campuses. Kingston would be our largest campus, which is also situated in the largest city that we're based in. So Kingston, a city, is about 150,000 people or so. There is a big university that's neighbors with us there. So between the 2 institutions, you're talking about upwards of 30,000 students every year.
Right.
And then Cornwall, which would be our second largest campus, is a city more closely located to Montreal.
Yes.
It's also right on the border with the USA, and it's a logistics hub, really. So it's known for supply chain management, which is a post-graduation program we offer.
Yes.
And finally, Brockville, which would be our smallest campus in our smallest city, is kind of situated in between Kingston and Cornwall.
Kingston and Cornwall. Okay. And we are having all the programs in St. Lawrence, right from skill to engineering to medical programs. So any background student, either from arts background, we are having hospitality program. I mean, the tourism or this like, do we have?
Well, those would be some of the programs that we once offered, but that have since been removed from our program list based on government, decision that certain programs are more aligned with the current industry climate.
Right.
So that would have been one that tourism and hospitality are former programs of ours that may make a comeback at some stage. But for now, those are not programs we offer, but we do have, as you say, skilled trades programs, which do, generally speaking, lead to high-paying careers.
Yes.
Again, it all comes down to the work ethic academically as well as your job work ethic once you graduate.
Yes, that's great. And then as we discussed that students, lot of programs, skilled trade is really in high demand, along with the healthcare programs where the job opportunity is still more, but yes, with the terms and conditions that you have to slowly build up the resume rather than just landing there and you are thinking that after completion of the studies and we're going to land up in a very white collar kind of a job. So we always tell the students it takes time. It takes time to build up your resume, and slowly you reach up to that after might be 4 or 5 years of job. I mean, they can reach to that position, right? So yes, next is what that the tuition fee structure minimum starts from in all the programs is generally how much?
On average, I would say that the majority of our programs for one academic year are going to be around $18,200 Canadian.
Okay.
So that would be your tuition fees and your ancillary fees, which includes things like your health insurance, potentially your bus pass, your gym membership, all the things that allow you to be a fully registered student at the college.
Right.
The tuition amounts will fluctuate. It can go up, and it depends on the program. Some of them will be a little bit more expensive. For example, bachelor's degrees programs, of which we have 2, would be a little pricier than that.
Right.
But still, college overall is, on average, I would say a little bit more affordable in terms of tuition as compared to most universities. Of course, it can depend institution to institution.
Thank you. And do we have on-campus jobs available for the students?
So there's part-time work available on campus, off campus. In fact, just as an example, our department has a history of hiring on a few international students for part-time work while they complete their studies, regardless of what those studies are. We're there to help the students gain exposure to what the workforce is like in Canada, because even those little pieces, a few hours each week, will help so that when the time comes for that real career application, you're a little bit better situated.
And scholarship options, do we have scholarship options for the students?
Scholarship opportunities will come and go. We currently are running a scholarship campaign. It is set to expire in about 1 day's time, I think.
Okay.
So if you want to apply now, now's a good time to do
For
it.
January 26th.
So it's for fall 25 and January 26.
Okay.
It is a first come first served
Okay.
application, and it is merit based. So what we do is we
Right.
receive the applications. You need to have been accepted into the institution before you can apply for one of these scholarships.
Right, great. So, students, you have heard that Mr. Alex is saying that yes, we do have this scholarship, this opportunities, but it is first come, first serve, and plus as per your academic profile. And the next important thing is that after the completion of the studies, I mean, generally, I've been carrying that kind of almost 18 plus experience that what the students with the international students, the recruitment. So, what generally, I mean, students face initial struggles specifically when they, I mean, go from here, they land there, and because they are, for them, there's an entirely different culture, and I mean, their upbringing is entirely different because here the Indian parents are more protective and more, like, I mean, even at the age of 18 or might be 25 years of age, the child is going for studies further in Canada, and still their parents will be asking, oh, you had your meal or something like that. They're more protected. So always we also pitch to the student, you have to, learn to fly alone in Canada because the culture is entirely different. They have to be independent. So, do we have any kind of a support services system when student lands there and they're going to be on campus and initially for 1 week any kind of orientation session?
And you are right that students might have an idea of what they're walking into, and in fact it is different because it is a different culture. Having said that, Canada is very multicultural, so there is an understanding of different cultures and how they work. You come over as part of a mosaic. You bring your own culture and your own flair to Canada, to the campus, to the community, but you still need to take steps to get yourself prepared for that. Do your research. Know the program of study that you're applying to. Make sure that it fits with what your objectives are career-wise, but also do your research culturally to understand what the climate is like, what life is like, what to expect upon arrival. We do have orientation, of course, for our intakes, so that will help you to get prepared, and you'll meet various peers, students, faculty, staff around the college. But anytime you need support, those support services are available to you. Often they're confidential, especially for those if it's anything to do with any kind of mental distress. We are there to support you. We're there for you. We exist only because of you. So you can take that to heart and rest assured that even though your mom might not be there cooking for you, we have grocery stores. We have all the same kinds of things that you'll find here, and you can learn to cook your own food, which is a life skill you'll need.
Right, true. There's so many queries, but still, the main questions we have covered. But do we have this on-campus accommodation available for the students?
At all 3 campuses, we do have on-campus residence buildings.
Okay.
So those do house both Canadian and international students.
Okay.
Similar to the scholarship piece, it is a first come, first serve situation. So if you're interested, you would want to be applying sooner rather than later. It's not required for you to stay on campus. You can easily stay off campus as well. Because we are situated in, I would say, small to mid-sized communities rather than big cities, it's easier to find more affordable and within reasonable distance accommodations to the campuses. But we do have a support service available as well to help guide you in the right direction. Of course, ultimately you have to make the decision as a grown-up, as an adult, as to where you want to live and how you want to do that. One thing that we've found to be helpful is to meet students before departing, if possible, for Canada, and have a chat with them about where they're going to be and how they're going to live, and you might be able to organize something that way.
And how much cost for off-campus, or generally the living expenses, monthly living expenses in Kingston?
Well, I think on average we generally would say like you should be budgeting probably anywhere between $1,200 or up for your cost of living outside of your tuition and things like that. It may be a little bit more depending on where you want to live. It may be a little bit less depending on where you want to live. Our residence buildings will also vary because we do have different types of accommodations on offer, such as single or double occupancy rooms. Those will run you at about anywhere between $6,000 and $7,500 Canadian per academic year, which is the equivalent of 8 months. But it does depend on also, what your lifestyle is like and what you expect.
Right.
How the type of food that you eat, how much you want to socialize outside of class and things like that. It's all doable. You just have to plan ahead. Part of the initiative, the new policies by the IRCC, the Canadian government, were that you had to show a higher amount of money in the bank ahead of time that you can use to support yourself when you come over to Canada. And the reason being because the cost of living everywhere is going up. So it's still, I think, all things considered, when compared with some of the other popular destinations for international education, Canada is still very affordable in terms of cost of living.
Yes, and we are fortunate because we have been into this industry since 2010, and we are guiding the students that even if the 2-year program is there, then 1 year full fee being paid by the student and the GIC. But next year also they have to show the living expenses plus full 1 year fee in the bank, because now SDS is over. So we are advising the student to show the funds as well for the next year. So that one main thing more that how the Kingston city is like, and Cornwall where the campuses are.
I'm biased because I'm from these places, but
Okay.
I know them inside and out.
Yes.
For me, so what I'll say is that we are not for everybody, but we are definitely the right fit for a lot of people.
Right.
As a smaller city across all three of them, so I'll start with Kingston, 150,000 people, as I mentioned or so, but we are built for students. We're a student-friendly city. The nightlife, the vibe, everything it kind of circles around the student life and that lifestyle. So it's welcoming to students from everywhere, and everything you could want in a city you can find in a place like Kingston. Smaller city with big city amenities is how I would describe it. So like I said, we have an Indian community now, a real good one. And if you want to find those things that you're used to from back home as something that's kind of like a little support for you or whatever it is, or just a taste of back home, you can find probably most of those things nowadays within the communities. But I still would encourage you to go out and explore and get to know your communities, get to know the people in your communities, because they'll want to know you, they'll want to learn to know you.
True.
And that's what's going to take you further.
Because the smaller the city, the network will be more.
Absolutely.
Yes. And okay, so this was the students like what we are discussing now, St. Lawrence College with the 3 campuses, and the programs are really amazing. I advise you to reach up to us, and the best thing is that we are just approaching an event on June 8th at Park Plaza Hotel 10 to 6, and Lawrence College is also participating. So come and meet Lawrence College. You will be amazed to see the program, the categories where the highly occupational demand is there, with where the programs are with the skilled trade, engineering, with the healthcare. So we will wait for you in the approaching event on 8th. Again, I'm declaring the venue is Hotel Park Plaza 10 to 5. And yes, so just last we are ending up, I'm wrapping up with the session that what do you think that as now Mark Carney is the new Prime Minister of Canada, so just a little this your opinion that everybody knows that like the negative reviews only through the students, it's nothing truth in that. So if I say with till 2026, how the Canada is going to be with the international students, the more percentage of picking up the student, because now that kind of a numbers are dropped down. So the kind of the housing problem, and yes, and government is really good in that, because now why they have decreased the numbers, because it will make them it will give them the time to reconcile with the things. So what do you think that how the Canada is going to be this because every student asks us this question.
Well, if I had a crystal ball, I could tell you. Unfortunately, I can't see into the future. But what I know is that I think the Canadian people have a lot of trust and faith that the direction the government is going is the right direction. And we believe that, there have been a few policy changes over the last year and a half or so, but for various reasons. And like them or hate them, that's a political, that's an opinion. But what I would say is that I think that we're at a place now where things are looking up, and all the while, international students have always been and will continue to be welcome in our communities.
Right. And Canada has always been the best destination because the people are very humble. Like the Canadians are very, very soft, and they are very social people. So I think still that study destination. I always say to the students that the kind of a programs, the kind of a culture, and the kind of the people. So we really advise the students always that Canada has always been and will be, because the students who have gone there earlier, they are well settled, they have bought the houses after their 15 years of journey, might be 10 years of journey, depends upon the student to student, because some are hardworking and built up their houses. They got the houses within 6 years span or 7 years span. So, it's easy still, and Kingston away from Toronto, and it's really good thing that there the networking is more with the people, and because of the small population, you can have that kind of an edge, or you can get that kind of an opportunity to grow well. So, am I right, like
Yeah,
Alex?
I would say
Yeah,
that's a fair
yeah,
assessment.
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. We had a great session. Lot many queries are left, but we will send you an email, and we'll have a good Zoom session also with the batch of students. But thank you so much for visiting today at our office, and putting forward your views and sharing this platform with me on the social media. So again, I thank you and feel gratitude, and I hope that next time also you will visit surely here. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you.